she was living. Jesus got up and began to accompany the ruler with his disciples. So what we have here is that Jesus was in the synagogue with his disciples. We learn that much through Scripture. Then J.L.REED came and said, listen, my daughter has died, but if you just come put your hand on her, I know everything's going to be all right.
Amen.
So then Jesus gets up and begins to follow J.L.REED to his house. But when Jesus gets up, his disciples go with him. And most people go on and teach the rest of the story. But I really want you to begin to analyze this story. Really allow this to sink down in your spirit. We always want to jump to the end of where the miracle happened. And the miracle is very significant and very important. But before we get to the miracle, what was the leading up to the miracle? What caused the atmosphere for the miracle to be produced? What was the situation that was going on that caused the miracle to happen? What was the timing? What was the place? Who were the people? What is the whole crux of the thing? It's like kids that have they read, she buy it sometimes, a big bottle of the bubbles, the little thing that you and you blow the bubble and blow through it, and whatever shape the stick is, that's what the bubble generally comes out to be. But if you don't have all the pieces, then you're not going to be able to create the bubble. Mm-hmm. You can have the big bottle without the stick, and then that's not going to do you no good. You can have the stick in an empty bottle without the soap stuff, that's not going to do you no good. You can just have the stick and not the soap or the bottle, that's not going to do you no good. But in order for you to be able to produce the bubble, you're going to have all the components together to be able to produce the objective of blowing the bubble. I understand it may sound simplistic, but I'm trying to get you to understand that J.L.REED came to Jesus with the intent in his mind of saying, if you can only touch her. See, he had already decided in his mind. He didn't go ministry to Jesus say, he didn't go to Jesus saying, oh, I know you're God, and I know you make all wise decisions. Even if you don't do it, I know you can. That wasn't his mindset. He said, listen, I know, Jesus, that if you put your hand on him, I ain't got no worries. So he was indicating to Jesus that he had enough faith in Jesus that if he moved, everything will be all right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So watch this. If we really begin to really think about that thing, evangelists, let's flip that over and put some more spirituality on it. Jesus moved. It doesn't say immediately in the Bible, but it says they accompanied J.L.REED. So I don't think they were standing around at a party. I think that they went on towards J.L.REED's house. I know it doesn't say that in the Bible, but I think they went on. But I also believe, too, it don't say that in that scripture, is that Jesus moved immediately because he recognized that there was enough faith in order to God. See, faith is the key. There had to be enough faith for him to move. I think we did off the prayer for him. There had to be enough faith for him to move. Matter of fact, I want to minister. What version are you reading out of? one you read out of? CEB, Common English Bible, and the NIV, New International Version. Read 18 in either one of those.
It says, while Jesus was speaking to them, a ruler came and kneeled in front of him, saying, my daughter has just died, but come and place your hand on her, and she will live.
And read 19.
So Jesus and his disciples got up and went with him.
I like the way that word version is.
The CEB.
And it says, and Jesus got up and went with him. There was enough faith to move God. Where has our faith gone? A, in the local assembly, then B, in our government. A, in God, B, our local assembly, and C, in our leaders. A, where has our faith gone in God? B, in our local assembly, and C, in our leaders. I mean, let's pull the cover back and let's be realistic and be truthful about it. Church isn't church anymore. Grandmothers are not grandmothers anymore. I mean, in order to fix the situation, you got to expose the situation. I mean, if you get wounded in combat, they got to deal with the wound. They can't take a picture of the wound and say, well, I think, you need to do this and you need to do, no, they got to deal with the wound. So in order to fix the problem, we got to pull the cover back and find out what are the issues that's not causing us to create a perfect bubble. Because we done patched long enough. If you take your car to the tire man, and he noticed you got already 2-3 patches on there, he gonna say, listen, I can't fool with this because this tire is getting to the point where it ain't no good no more. So in other words, what are you saying? You can only patch a situation for so long. And then there's sometimes you go to the tire man and you got the hole in your tire in the wrong spot of the tire, and he say, listen, I can't even touch that. You need a whole new tire. But it's going to come to a point in time where you got to just deal with the situation. Church isn't church no more. Where has the faith gone? A, in God, B, in our local assemblies, and C, in our leaders. Where has it gone? But then CEB says that Jesus got up immediately and his disciples and followed J.R.REED. Amplified says they accompanied J.R.REED. What does ESV say, Isaiah 19? Jesus got up and followed. It's not the fact that God is not healing anymore. It's not the fact that God is not delivering anymore. It's not even the fact that God is not talking anymore. If we really pull the covers back and expose the wound, it's us that lost faith in God. God has never lost faith in his creation. Church isn't church anymore because we're the church.
That's right.
Not the physical building. That's the place where the churches assemble themselves.
Mm-hmm.
What the scripture says, assemble yourselves together right time, on one accord in one place. That's the physical building.
Yeah.
This is why I say you can't be church hurt because you are the church. You may be mad at somebody within a physical building,
Mm-hmm.
then we can deal with that. So that again, we have to pull the cover back. Isn't it amazing how we can get mad at one person in the church and say, I'm never going to church again, but we get mad on the job all the time, but we still go to work.
It's all money.
Why don't you say, well, I ain't gonna never work again and see what happens? Leaders aren't leaders anymore. We're throwing rocks, living in glass houses. Everybody is beginning to seek titles and don't have any kind of study life, no kind of prayer life, no kind of anything, nothing. You just woke up, God called you, now you're on the national platform trying to preach like, act like somebody you heard or seen on YouTube, MySpace, or any of them other things, and Facebook, and there's no power in you. You can't get grounded and founded in the Word of God.
Yes.
The reason you say stuff out your mouth and it don't come to pass is because you have not been rooted and grounded. Listen, you say stuff out your mouth that you don't even believe. So how is it going to prosper what it say it's going to do if you don't even believe it when you say it? Listen, when I got that bottle of water, when God told me to anoint those people, it wasn't the fact that I didn't believe it, because if I didn't believe it, I wouldn't have done it. But I was operating in faith that says, God, if you told me to do it, there must be a reason behind it.
Right.
Lean not to your own understanding. All the way, acknowledge, listen to God, and it's going to work out for you.
Amen.
Yeah, he going to have you doing some strange things. But at the end of the day, it's going to work out for you.
That's right.
What else to say?
And he rewards those who seek him.
He rewards those that seek him. Seek him. I must daily seek him. Minister Reed, I must daily seek him. I must seek him through prayer.
That's
I
right.
must seek him through read my word. Excuse me, Holy Ghost correction. I must seek him through studying my word. I must seek him through talking to people and showing them the light of him through me. Daily. Daily. Must do this daily. Be it unto you. So we can't teach people that in order for God to deliver you from cigarettes, it's going to take a process. Because Luke says what I say. So I can only teach you word. Now what you do from there is on you. See, eventually, the reason the ones can't necessarily get it right between the lines because they done ran into something that's so different that they're not going to find it in your local assembly. So now because I can't find it, I must attack what I left. The reason for the attack is to pull that person down so that I can push me up and I can feel good about the decision and where I'm at now. But at the end of the day,
That's right.
what's it say? She came up from behind him. So Jesus was not aware. Thank you to stop. Jesus, the flesh man, was not aware. But Jesus, the God man, knew. Thank you, Lord. See, this stuff comes straight from Rhema. I'm telling you, this is God. I love it when God talks. Come on.
Touch the fringe of his garment.
If I can just touch the hem of his garment. Come on.
And he
Stop right there. We have a break in cognitive thought.
Right.
What are you talking about? A break in cognitive thought about? It went from if I can touch to immediately. So what happened in between if I can touch and immediately? Come on. We have a break in cognitive thought. So I can only surmise what happened in between if I can touch and immediately. And if I can just surmise for you, I would say whatever obstacle came in between if I can touch and immediately, she must have moved it out of her way. If I can surmise for
That's
you,
right.
what came from if I can touch to immediately was friends, family, and people. But we find over here on the other side, immediately happened.
That's right.
So I can't allow what other people say, what other people have set up against me and for me to stop my immediately. The reason my immediately ain't showed up is because I've allowed something to happen in between if I can touch and my immediately.
That's right.
Come on, somebody. Oh, if that will preach in itself.
All right now.
Come on.
and immediately
Uh-huh.
her discharge of her body would cease.
And immediately the discharge had ceased. So in between the if I could touch and the immediate, something happened. But according to the word, it says, according to thy faith, be it done unto you, you be made whole. It was done immediately.
That's right.
Listen, it's not that God is moving slow.
That's right.
It's because you don't believe. Nor do you believe in his power, nor do you believe in his authority, nor do you believe that you have to come under subjection of God. So yes, things are not moving in your life. It's not because of God. It's because of you. And what has caused or came in between your touch and your immediate?
Amen.
See, as an evangelist, I got to stop thinking, one way. And I got to start thinking that God called me to build his house. So my immediate, my touch is to build. And whatever I need to do in between to get that done, to get to my immediate, I need to do. Thank you, Lord. Mandate, better word. My mandate as an evangelist. Let's read. Your mandate as a minister, kind of the same along the line as the mandate for the being the first lady is to love them. And now the minister part comes in to teach them along the way.
Amen.
What
I love 'em.
is causing the breakdown from your touch to your knee? She said, Mr. Reed, yours was what? Mark, right? It was Luke 8:24?
Yeah, 5.
Thought yours was Mark. Yeah, Mark 5:28 was yours.
Mark 5:28.
Uh-huh.
For she thought that if I just touched his garment, I would get well.
Her thought process was, if I can just touch the hem, then I'm going to be made well.
Oh.
See, there was no evangelism, there was no thought other than, if I can touch the hem of his garment, I'm going to be made whole. The reason church is breaking down is because we come in other agendas and other thought processes,
Right.
when we should all be running toward God. I'm breaking down because I'm over here thinking about this and I'm over here thinking about that. I'm trying to worship God while I'm worried about it. Leave the stove on. I'm trying to worship God while my favorite one ain't preaching. I ain't coming today. We have all kinds of agendas we're sitting with in the house of God. But she said she had the thought process that if I touch it, listen, ain't nothing you gonna change my mind and nothing gonna change my direct if I get my hands on it.
Right.
Listen, I don't even have to touch him because clothes touch him. If I can just touch the hem
Amen.
of his garment, everything's going to change.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
That's changed. Amen.
Listen, we don't even have a desire to come to church no more. But she was fighting through the crowd just to get to his hem of his garment. Not necessarily him, but just his clothing. That was an immediate burning desire.
Amen.
If I could just touch him. Not H-I-M, but H-E-M. The hem of his garment. I know the reason things are not moving, minister, is because we have secondary thoughts behind primary ideas. I need to write that one down. We have secondary thoughts behind primary ideas. What are you saying, Apostle? I'm saying it like this. Primary idea is that Jesus can heal you. Bottom line. Secondary thoughts, even if he don't do it, I know he can. Either you're going to believe it or you're not. Primary idea, Jesus is a healer. Secondary thought, even if you don't. Well, which one are you going to lean on? Jesus don't want you coming in and tell me something. That didn't work. Hallelujah anyway. You know why it didn't work? God's power did not diminish when you showed up. God's power did not change when you came his direction. So if God didn't change, what changed? What changed was your thought process. Because you find in there, Mark 28, read it for me again, Minister Reed. I believe she's reading out the Amplified Bible. I love it. This is why we need to study all Bibles.
Well, she thought if I just touch his clothing, I would get well.
She had a thought on a primary subject. A thought on a primary. She didn't have a secondary thought. See, she must have had already seen summation. Jesus walking around healing people. She must have already heard Jesus touching people. So she had the understanding in her cognitive mind that says, listen, if he can do it for others, he can do it for me. Listen, I understand that Jewish law says because I am having a menstrual cycle or a hemorrhage of blood, that I am unclean and that I need to be put away in a place until it stops. And then once it stops, I must stay in that place for a total of 7 days in order to be called ceremonial clean. Yes, I understand Jewish law and Jewish custom. But right now, Jewish law and Jewish custom is coming against my thought process that says if I touch him, I'm going to be clean. During the ceremony, I need God to move right now.
That's right.
Oh, y'all got to catch it.
All right now.
She said, listen, I'm throwing customs out the window. I'm throwing Jewish law out the window. Yeah, I understand what man say. I'm throwing that out the window. If I have a thought process that goes beyond what man's law has set up. I have a thought process that goes beyond what should have happened in natural law, but I'm dealing with spiritual law. It says if I can just touch him.
That's right.
See, he's the source. He's the power. So if I'm in the right frame of mind, when I touch the power will touch me back.
That's right. Immediately.
Listen,
Amen.
if you take a light bulb, not a light bulb, a lamp, you got that plug in the end, if you cut that plug on, and you stick and lay it up against the socket, the light gonna come on, right? Why it ain't gonna come on? You ain't got no connection. So with your primary idea that Jesus healed, primary thought is, I'm going to get healed. You can't tell me no different.
Right.
You can't tell me no different. You can't tell me no different. Do you know there's a scripture, it may be hidden in the book, you may not have heard it. It says, Satan seeking whom he may divide. He's looking for the weak. He's looking for the ones that's dropping off at the end of the back. He's looking for the ones that I'm out here all by myself. Even the law or the jungle says the ones that by themselves, they get eat. That's the law of the jungle. Even when I went in the military, they told me kill or be killed. They also told me don't go nowhere by yourself. So thought process. (21) of Matthew says, for she, thank you, Holy Ghost. I'm trying to go, I promise y'all. That's how it is. We may have to finish it another time. I'm going back to 20. It says that a woman who had suffered for a hemorrhage for 12 years came up behind him and touched the tassel fringe of his outer robe. I read that and I was moving to 21. I wanted to make sure we stayed on track, but I heard God say to me clearly, and I'm just going to repeat it the way I heard it. The reason we can't move into our blessing is because we haven't got enough of enough.
Oh my.
See, she been dealing with this 12 long years. She been doing it their way 12 long years. And in that 12 long years, obviously nothing was working. Physicians, doctors, Jewish law, Jewish stuff, obviously nothing was working. So she had got to the point where Minister Reed, where she said, enough is enough. If it's not working, why do I keep doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Can I share something with you? The prophetic just dropped on me. And you're going to have to catch this thing because you've been missing it a lot. And I laughed to myself. So I pray, I say, God, she don't get it. But I can see you sitting in that office, filling out that application, praying, God, let this go through. But then something happened. You said to yourself, secondary thought, but this might be on my credit. One killed the other. So I don't have, because I allowed my flesh to open my spirit. How long must I keep bumping my head against the wall before 12 long years I dealt with this? So obviously, if it's not working, then I need to try something different so that I won't be living in the same place I was living before. See, I'm just using natural word with spiritual word. So I'm back at the same place where I was because flesh pushed me and I didn't allow spirit to stand up. Come on. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Be it unto you according to your faith. Leaders in the church, where has the faith gone? If I'm not listening to I'm hearing, but I'm not listening to leadership. I heard you, but I didn't listen. Because if I would have listened, it would have created a different result. Hearing and listening, two different things. I heard you, but I didn't listen to you. What I should have done was walk in there and say, yeah, that's where I want to live. God, that's where I want to be. Okay? God, you already know my credit. But I'm going to be living here. I see myself here. Yeah, I understand flesh. I hear what you're saying, flesh. Yeah, I'm not moving in flesh. Flesh, I hear you. Stand up, Sister Dunbar. Put the Bible down. I hear you, flesh. I hear you. So then I get out the car. Let's look at this. I get out the car and I walk into people's establishment. And the leasing agent comes up to me and I say, hey, my name, Lillian Brown, better known as Evangelist Brown. I come to fill out the application, but I need you to show me which apartment you have available for me. Because I'm not worried about what the application says. I already know what God says I can have. See, I've already set this as a precedence. I don't care if I got to fill out the application. I don't care if I got to pay $50. I just said, listen, you have one downstairs? Well, you have to fit out. Say you have to fill out the application. That don't matter. That don't matter. Listen, you have one downstairs? Say it again. That don't matter. That don't matter. You got one downstairs? Say it again. Wait, listen, you're not listening to me. You have one by the pool area? Say it again. No, that don't matter. You got one by the pool area, right? You got one by the pool area, right? You got one by the pool area, right? See, which one won? Yeah. Can you show me one by the pool area? Well, then you're going to say, well, when we get back, can you fit out there and come on, somebody? You got to walk this thing.
Amen.
Yes, Lord.
Because if I don't, I'm going to end up right back.
Amen.
Yes, God.
See, Lady Reed and I didn't even understand what God was doing in my life, but we bought a $100,000 house with no money down and barely credit. Credit score ain't nowhere near where it is now. But I heard God say, go get a house.
Yes, Lord.
He didn't say, go get a house and check your credit. He said, go get it.
That's right.
Matter of fact, if y'all really want to know the story, the lady who helped us get the house, Lady Reed sitting right there, she'll tell you, the bank said we need one more qualifier in order to approve you for the house. They said we need to see a bank receipt for $1,000 in the bank. We were living check to check, $1,000. What? Is you crazy? We eating bologna. We ain't got no $1,000.
My Lord.
The lady came back to us and said, listen, I got just $1,000 in my bank. I'm going to trust y'all. Put this in your bank. Let it sit there for a couple of days. Pull out the receipt. Bring my $1,000 back. We'll send it in.
My Lord.
She went and handed us $1,000 cash and told her put it in our bank. Come on, you got to get the word works. Allow the word to work. God said go get it. He didn't say how to go get it. He just said have enough faith that it's going to work out.
That's right.
Ain't that what we did? Took that lady money, put it in $1,000, let her in 3 days, printed out a receipt, brought the receipt to her and the $1,000 back. She mailed the receipt in. They called us and said, listen, we're getting ready to close on your house.
That's right.
And
Amen.
she never had that $1,000 in the bank.
That's right.
Favor. Ah, Jesus. My Lord. Yes, God.
I ain't know where I was going to get no $1,000 from. And they said $1,000 to me. I looked over her like, he headed straight to McDonald's. $1,000. That lady came up with that idea. I didn't ask her for it.
God. Favor ain't fair now. Jesus.
Okay.
See, I don't just be telling ministry people stuff out my mouth because I have not done it or used it. I've been there.
Amen. Ah, that's my God.
I'm just waiting on God to tell me to move.
Yes, Lord.
I just told Minister Reed the other day that Evangelist Brown keep missing because she's not listening. I just told her that the other day. I didn't know I would be teaching this lesson. I don't teach faith much. I walked in this door. I was coming down the street right before the church. And I came in and I heard God say, issue of blood. I said, God, what about issue of blood? He said, I need you to teach that Bible story today. I said, God, well, I ain't got my notes. You know, I want to break this thing down. He said, listen, I understand all that, but I need you to teach today. If you open up your mouth, I'll speak for you. Come on, somebody. You got to.
All right.
I just told that ministry the other day. I am where I am because I choose to be here.
That's right.
God does not operate in our time. God operates outside of our time. What's done in the natural is done differently in the spirit.
That's right.
You can be there the full 12 months if you choose to be. But if you go looking, the lady will break the lease for you and won't cost you a dime.
Amen.
God told me that the other day when we was in McDonald's in Green Cove Springs. You're not going to be part of a movement and God don't move through you. What I tell you this was last Sunday. Not a church, but a what? They remember. What I tell you it was last Sunday. Not a church, but a what? What I tell you what? Yeah. I look at the church, not as a church, but I look at it as a movement. And God's not going to move. Now, if it's a movement, he has to move through the people that's in the movement. That's what creates the momentum or the movement. Just like the Malcolm X movie, I cannot get that out of my head when they threw Malcolm X into jail and all the people, the men came together. And they was out front of that jail. And that man stood up and did his hand like that. And all the men turned at one time. One accord. It was a movement that what they were doing outside the jail, because of the movement, caused a different result inside the jail. They had to let that man go. Then the man said, in the movie, he said, there should not be one man that has that much power.
That's right.
But spiritually, I heard they say, if you just trust on me, I'll give you houses you didn't build. I'll have people follow you that you, come on.
That's right. Amen.
The people can't come in unless we all the way in.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Yes, God.
If I'm not fully committed, how am I going to ask somebody else to be?
Fully committed. Amen. Amen. That's right.
We need to take the word and make it come alive to us. A lot of things that goes on in our life is because we don't lay down the law and we just accept it. And then when we know that because we accept it, it's not going to turn out right, well then you're going to get just what you already know. Stand up again. Here's a demonstration. Listen, I'm just talking, this ain't for you personally. You need to go to that person and say, listen, I'm not going to accept your attitude. I'm not going to accept you coming at me. Either we're going to keep it real or we not. Now, I love you. Either we're going to have a fruitful relationship or we not. My love for you don't stop. But I'm not going to allow your problems to become my problems because of your disobedience. I'm not going to allow you to pour that mess into me so then we both contaminated. But what I am going to do is pour the love of God into you that hopefully you can see the error of your ways. I love you, but that's all it's going to be from now on. If you got anything negative to say, to keep it. If you don't like it, keep it. Now watch this. If you come against me or any of mine, I'm going to go to God on it. Instead of me coming out at you at the mouth like you expect me to do, I'm not going to do that now. When you upset me, I'm going to God. So then you now got to deal with him instead of dealing with me. So you expect me to give you a phone call when you cuss me out, but I'm going to go talk to God. I'm going to go fix me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and sit on the couch, and I'm going to talk to God. I'm going to say, God, listen, this one that you got in my life, you got to do something about this one because this one here aggravating me. It's grieving me now, God. So, God, now I need you to do something. God, I'm talking to you. God, I'm going to keep talking until you move.
Come on now.
That's right,
yes,
amen.
Lord.
Either they going to push you or you going to push them.
Yes.
Ain't no way you can stand and say, I'm this, and they doing all the pushing. I drove a tractor trailer for a company called Ferguson Waterworks. And I watched them build all of half of, not them build personally, J.B. Cox built it, but we used to deliver a lot of the underground pipe. The company I work for, we deliver, so when construction is brand new, they put the pipes in the ground. It's just dirt. It's just real soft dirt. And so I got this long tractor trailer. Y'all seen them on the highway with the pipe sticking way up in the air, and they had the pipe strapped on the truck. Pipe strapped on the truck. So then I pull into this construction site, and they say when we need the piping at is way in the back somewhere. And I'm like, dude, I get out the truck, they teach us, get out the truck, and like this on the ground. And if our feet begin to sink, it's too light for the truck. I said, man, look at him. I said, I don't think I'm going to make it way back there. What is it? It just rained 2 days ago, and it's soft, it's not compacted, and I'm this big load with me. He said, listen, we're going to get you back out of here. I just need that load back there. I said, all right. So I said, okay, we'll jump back in the truck. I take my truck, machinery, you got to learn how to operate it. I put it in low gear, I pull it in full, and me and that truck went back there in that thing, and we ride, and it's bouncing. I think, yeah, it's bouncing. And I get back there where they want it, and unstrap it, and they come in with the machine and start offloading, and I get back in the truck, drop it back down in low gear, hit that gas, and I hear the engine revving, but the trees ain't changing, and the engine revving, and the trees still ain't changing. I get out and look, and now the engine is sitting on the ground.
Oh, my.
I said, God, know it. I told them I was going to get stuck.
Oh, Lord.
So I called the man. I said, I told you I was going to get stuck. He said, don't worry. He said, let me call the big cat up here. I said, you got a cat on the side? He said, yes, on the other side. What he talking about cat is the name of the machine. And they had something called a bulldozer. It was an 800. One of them big bulldozers. I mean, this joker is big. It ain't small. He said, now put it in neutral, and we're going to push you out of here. Now I got this big old huge truck. And he said, you ready? I said, yeah. That's all I'm done. Took that front of that bulldozer and he touched the back of the truck. And he said, I ain't even got to put it in low because you ain't even heavy. He said, all I need you to do is stay and keep it in neutral. And I'm thinking it's going to take a minute. And the big one came into neutral like this.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Lord.
So if God got your back, I was like, God, no, it didn't even, because it did, no, ain't doing nothing. Just moving. So if God got your back, what you got to be afraid of? Why you letting people move you and God's the one that's bigger than anybody?
That's right.
Moving me so fast, I got nervous. Like, hey, that's enough. I don't even push it in. And his engine didn't even run out. If God got your back, what you got to be afraid of? Because I choose to allow people to push me in that area. The woman who had suffered for a hemorrhage for 12 years came up behind him and touched him, Benjamin's Castle Road, 1-1. But she had been saying to herself, if I can only touch his outer robe, I will be made healed. Primary thought on principle. If I can only touch the hem of his garment, I will be made whole.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not second guessing an evangelist, minister. I'm not even having a secondary thought. If God said I can have it, I'm going to get it.
Amen.
I'm not going to get it before God. I'm not moving ahead of God. I'm moving with God.
That's right.
And when God say go get it,
Go get it.
go get it.
That's right.
And a lot of, and we're going to stop right here. What time? We're going to stop right here. The evangelist keeps talking. A lot of people, God has said go get it. And because of flesh, and because of fear, we hindered our own self. Saint is sitting over in the corner somewhere, looking at you and saying, thank you for doing my job. I really appreciate you. As long as you continue doing my job, I'm going to be in the Bahamas somewhere because I don't need to work nearly as hard as I do. Because you're defeating yourself. So thank you. That's what saints say. Thank you. I appreciate you being afraid to move. Thank you. I appreciate you not listening to God. Thank you. B, our synagogues, our churches. We're not teaching leaders to see. We're not teaching our people to don't be afraid of the saints. Don't be afraid of the people's face.
Right.
Do y'all think people that didn't never have vehicles all of a sudden get in the ministry and God begin to bless them, all of a sudden they get vehicles? That's just coincidence? Prosperity follows this ministry. Prosperity follows your apostle. Now I want to close on this note. I talked about that $100 bill. I talked about that 5, that 10, that 20, that 50, and $100 bill. I told y'all a long time ago. Tuck that down in the back part of your wallet and forget about it. Leave it there. And they finish that thought. The end of that thought is, because money's all money. See, it's been a bad theology, and we heard it go throughout the church. You got to fake it till you make it. Why you got to fake it?
Mm-mm.
God says, above all, I wish that you would prosper and be in health.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay at your level with your money until God brings you to a new level. But at your level, live like a rock star.
Amen.
Next level you get to with your finances, live like a rock star. Next level, just because you don't have a whole lot of money, don't mean you have to look like you don't have a whole lot of money.
Okay.
I don't have but like 6 suits, maybe not, maybe less than that, eventually. Oh, 5, 4, about 4, she said. I go buy different vests and I dress them up.
Hey.
And yeah, there is that man that come in with that 3-piece suit on. Every Sunday, them pastors looking good, but I'm gonna live at my level, and he gonna live at his, and we both gonna do what thus say the Lord.
Amen.
But just because I'm not where I want to be yet, don't mean that I'm gonna hide everything that I have now.
That's right.
She was living in the day and age of Amazon. You can practically buy anything for inexpensive. And bring it right to your door. You can buy a gallon of milk off of that one. I know I pick with the ladies in their shoes because they need to buy a house just for clothing and shoes. But look good. I pick with you. I mean, you ain't got too much, but anyway, look good at your level. And what do you mean by at your level, Apostle? What Apostle is trying to tell you is, don't try to live like the Joneses. Live what God got you living.
You know that right.
If something's causing you financial distress and you made a decision that you don't believe with God, take that problem, that bill, whatever that's in it, go back to God and say, God, now listen, this one here can't be you because it's causing me problems. So I must have made a bad decision or not heard you clearly when I made this bill. So God, now I need for you to move because this one here is messing me up at the level where you got it. So God, we need to do something about this. Yeah, it may have been me not being obedient. I understand that, but we need to do something. Faith moves God. Do you have enough faith to move God?
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
Amen?